So I've done a little bit of work on the Ghoul rifle, and I've done some printing, which I will show you guys here in a minute. Camera on. There we go. I'll sit down and show you guys. I haven't printed the whole thing yet, but I have printed and tested all the internal mechanisms as far as um, how everything works, the lever and the firing pin, hammer, trigger, all that stuff. So um, I'll go over that in a minute and show you guys. But what we'll do is, let me take, I've changed some things from the last time because I actually, printed the internal parts and tested some of the parts. And one thing I've done is I eliminated the linkage that I did have to the hammer, and I am using the firing pin to push the hammer back just because I went in and was able to change up the tension on the hammer spring and the angle on it. So now there's still a bunch of tension. The hammer still works very, very well, has very good snappy action to it. But in doing so, I've made it to where the firing pin is able to push the hammer back without issue at all, other than a little bit of the dragging up here around the edge of the hole, like right here, which I'm actually going to come in here and go ahead and smooth the hole off opening and see, it's not going to be nice and smooth. All I want to do is get this. Well, you know what? I don't want it on this side either. But yeah, it works. It works phenomenal now. And not only that, but I was able to pick up the extra range, and it doesn't show here when I cock this back. Of course, it's not rotating right now, but when I cock this back on the actual printed one, the firing pin is in full contact, and so there's no longer a gap there. So I got extra uh, length out of the firing pin. So all of this works now as it should. I need to go back in there and turn my limits back on for my hammer. I think, which one was it? Is this one? But yeah, so and I'm gonna grab. I don't have the. Appreciate it, man. How you doing, Bob? I meant to ask you where are you at? Are you like overseas? Because I know that you talk about it's getting late where you're at and it's afternoon time. Yeah, exactly. We I was able to simplify all of this and lose that arm, which was my biggest thing. I wanted to get it designed, then get all this printed and see how all this interacted. And the hammer was in the configuration of the spring, it was too much against it. Oh, in Belgium, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love the internet. Well, for the most part, some of it can be quite danky, but yeah, I was able to change some angle on this spring and keep pretty much the same tension and hammer action, but still do it with the firing pin. So I was very happy about that. Also remade, not remade, changed some angles on the door up here, and that works flawlessly on the 3D printed one, which I don't have. The screws are on their way, and they may actually get here today. I'm not sure, but I'm going to grab some just temp screws so I can kind of put this together and show you guys um, the action on it and stuff and how well it works. Um, so pretty much, and I was able to drop the magnet in the door over here that held the right door on, because now that this arm is not in here for the hammer, I could do like the actual one where I have a full length pass through screw that will go through the left door and threads into the back of the right door like it should. So all of that is accurate. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I changed. I did all these changes like in like 15 minutes after I printed the other one and the first one and had it in my hand and messed with it some. Um, I think I may have made a couple changes to the lever, or I may not have. I think I may have just went in and cleaned up some of the lines and stuff. Uh, but overall, yeah, that's all working in the way it's supposed to. So I am going to go grab some screws real quick, and we'll kind of half-ass assemble this, and I'll show you how everything's working. So give me just a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay. Where's my other mic? All right. Hopefully that one's working. May need to turn it down a bit. Okay. I just switched to my wireless mic so I can move over here by my desk more. Okay. Now, like I said, all these screws are not the exact screws, um, but they will suffice just fine. By the way, that the bottom piece fits in perfectly, just like it should. So, let's just get all this dumped out here. I'm not going to do anything with the side doors or anything right now, but this is, get this cleaned off. Turn this other light on. There we go. This is the side that has the little load door in it, and it moves in and out just like it should, so we're good on that. There's that. And these are the supports that I was talking about that I did for these the little tangs that come off the back, that, you know, where the upper and lower screw into the grip, because we want to strengthen these. So these are printed flat like this with their print lines going this way. Well, these are printed with their print lines going this way. So what I did was these inserts will have where we will glue into here into the channel, which will now basically make all of this stronger than pretty much any other part. And then when we screw in, if you notice, that gives the seat where the screw actually grabs onto this and will make all of that extremely strong. And we have one for the top and the top and the bottom here. This one goes in just like that. So pop that back out. But what I'm going to be messing with here real quick is just the other internal stuff. Oh. And let me get my little Allen wrench here, or my driver. Now these set screws, this is what will be holding all of this together. that over so I can hopefully see everybody. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to see everybody's messages from Twitch, YouTube, X, and off of TikTok. So if I miss somebody's comment, just understand that running on a bunch of different platforms at one time is kind of a pain in the butt, but trying to do this so you guys can see what I'm doing. So hopefully by the end of the weekend, the only thing that I'm going to come up with is I want to add probably a spring-loaded cam inside so that the lever action, when you bring it down, it already, and that was the other part of removing the linkage. I didn't like, everything was too smooth, if that makes sense. There was no like where it like clicked to, and I click's a bad word, where it kind of stopped at, other than, you know, hitting the rest. There was no action feel to it. Now there's an action feel to it, but now when I come back, I'm going to add a spring-loaded cam, so whenever the lever comes back up, it will actually more or less lock the lever up until you pull down. So that should be fairly easy to do, but let me get the other set screw in here for the hammer. Yeah, exactly. That the whole little tap tap was missing. But you know, that's part of the fun too. All right, let me get the spring in here. Get all this pushed down. Hold everything. Did I hit it? Did I hit the hole? I did. So we just screw this in, and then it also threads into the other side. There we go. So we should have, so we have this is the normal resting spot. Then we have the first notch, which is the safety notch, which it doesn't allow you to pull the trigger. Well, once you clean out the groove and stuff, it sits down in that safety notch. So you have the first notch, then we have the second. All works really, really well. So all this will insert from the bottom. We'll get these little side screws in. And all this becomes very, very stout. Way better than what I thought it was. Do I not have a better screwdriver in here? Yes, I don't. Very bad about I'll grab tools from my office in here, take them out to the shop to do something, even though I have them in the shop. It's like kind of walking around with your car keys in your hand looking for your car keys. I'll have something in my hand and just walk to the shop and set it down. So nice and tight. Okay. So you can hear there's the first click and then back. So there's the safety, then all the way back. All works very, very well. Now, and for the firing pin, it actually, let's see. Yep, let's see. Eventually what we'll do is we'll drop this in, and like when I do the assembly video, you can glue this into this. Dadgummit. See? And this is what happens. This is what I do behind the scenes before I make my assembly videos, so I try not to get the order messed up. I forgot I got to drop the firing pin in here real quick. And the good part is you'll still be able to unscrew all of this and take it all completely back apart, even after you're done, you know, painting and putting it all together. I really need to go grab a better screwdriver than this. Anyways, so the firing pin, we just put in, drop down. We can hold it back a bit. When we put it in, we make sure that the little half cutout is down there. We take it, pop it in there, and now the firing pin is where it's supposed to be. Now I can put this back in. Now that it's already cut the threads, it's not so hard. Yeah, I already hate flat blade screws, but trying to do it with a little goofy screwdriver is not the bestest thing in the world. Go ahead and put this on first, and I need one more set screw. Do I have one? Yes, I have one over here. So let me pull this out, look both directions, get it started. I'm sitting here doing this like this is an assembly video for you guys, but dadgummit. All right. Bring that in. Find the best way to hold all this still. Screw this dude into here. There we go. There's our little linkage for that. The biggest thing that sucks is I don't have the right screw for this, so I gotta just, and of course this screw is too small as far as diameter and length, but I mean it will suffice for right now. And this set screw is longer than what goes in here, but does not matter, especially since the other linkage is not in here. Get that screwed in. Make sure, yep, I'm going through the other side. If you miss the hole, you'll have a tendency to start forcing the other side of the arm open, and you can crack it. So right now, and of course there's not a cam in here to add any tension to this. So right now well, dadgummit, it works like that. That moves so well. I can actually hold the trigger back. Well, I'm trying to hold the trigger back. Works perfect. So I was very happy with that. Very happy that I got it to work that way. So then I'm going to put this little block in. This is the little block that sits on top of down here. That dust cover. Support material come off. There we go. All right, I'm going to put the block down on there. And I'm just going to cock that back and slide the cover onto its grooves. I may need to take a little, clean up the sides of my block here. I hate this little trim tool. This isn't actually the redone block. This is the old version of the block, but it still works. Accidentally left one of the print processes for it with having a ring around it, touching it, and that's not what we want. Sorry. Couldn't see what I was doing. And again, this is not the right size screw. The screw we'll be using up here is a countersunk oval head screw. And like, you don't even have to tighten the screw down, but I'm just going to bring it to where it sets up against it. So all of that now works. Now again, when I convert the Ghoul into just the standard Winchester, I'll have this operating like it's supposed to. So when it's closed on a regular one, when you cock it back and cock forward, the door will stay back until you manually slide it back forward. But since his will have a sight, his rear sight on here, I wanted to go ahead and make all this work. But a rear sight, just setting back here, you know, constantly moving is not going, wouldn't function in IRL. So all of that is working just like it should. So what I want to do is we have good action coming forward on the lever, and this is where I want to add the cam in here so that there's tension coming back, and then when it gets here, it'll pop and set. So I'll be adding a spring-loaded cam in here. But yeah, so far that is what we have right now. So that is like turned out beautiful, because it's still got good tension, especially because it's also pushing against the spring and the hammer. So you get to this point and you can literally cock it. So that's where we're at. So now all I have to do is I'm going to make the cam and we're done. Then I'm going to pop the design onto the foregrip and we're completely done. Like I said, we were able to go ahead and make it to where we can use a pass-through screw that will come all the way through, and it'll screw into the back side of the side covers. So the side covers will be on there nice and tight like they're supposed to be. So the only thing about using the screw is, you know, a real one, this is iron, this is iron steel. And so when you tighten it down, there's nothing up front that will flop at all. So once I get the screws in and tighten this down, if I think that there's a chance, which that's pretty stout, that any of these ends will have a tendency to come up, what I'll do is I'll put a notch in the body with a lip. So when you put it on, you'll actually hook it under there and then pop it on and screw it on, and that way they won't move. But I won't know if that's needed till the screws come in, so I have the one that passes all the way through the body. But so far right now, that's where we're at. I'm going to actually work on the cam today and possibly get the cam completely done. Not 100% sure, but back over here. So I'm not 100% sure if that's like if I'll have the cam done today. But I do know either tonight or tomorrow night I'm going to get the design embossed on the foregrip. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it feels awesome. That's the best part, is like it feels solid. And I even went and tightened up like all the tolerances in here to keep this from wobbling. And right now there's a slight wobble, but soon as you put the screw in here that's supposed to fit, this screw barely even goes through, and its diameter of its threads is way too small. It will take all of that out to where there won't be any side wobble unless you bend this. But that was a reason for not printing the internals of this completely solid. I don't know if you can see or not, but I think This is because this is printed flat. I think I've got 8 walls. So in some places this is 16 walls thick. There's very little infill, but where I did make sure there was infill is in places that would allow some flex. Because if you go too rigid, then you just make a part that breaks. And this is the same thing that I did on my volcanic model. And the volcanic model has way more tension on it than this does, and never broke one of its levers. So we should be good here. And that, that was one of my concerns, not only with the firing pin, cock, and the hammer, was how much tension that would add on all this. And I mean, there's not tension. I mean, it's right now just pushing against the spring of this, it's nothing. And soon when I add the spring cam in here, it'll add a little bit more tension and hopefully add that nice, cool little feel to it. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Hang on a second. What's up? Hey, good morning. Huh? All right. Sorry about that. Just telling my son good late morning. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Um, all right, let's see. So, anyways, like I'm probably this is just going to be a very short stream to show you guys where we're at. I would say we're 95% done. Like I said, I got to emboss the design all the way around this, which is going to be a pain in the butt. And then I'm just going to do this cam, and you know, and go from there. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it. Most likely, it's going to be a spring running this way, and I probably will do, I don't know, like a dual cam. I'm not quite sure, or yeah, a dual cam on both sides. I'm not really sure yet, but I'll get that figured out, or I may find a much more simplistic way. I was just going to add a big spring to the lever, but I really don't want you cocking it forward and then it just wants to spring back and shut. Because I want you to be able to cock it forward and leave it forward and then pull it up and, you know, actually feel like you're chambering something. That's my intent. There's a difference between what's feasible and not feasible. So that too. Smooth out the sound of that firing pin sliding through that hole. So, but yeah, I thought it was kind of cool how it's turned out great. Um, but yeah, if y'all have any like suggestions or any thoughts or anything, just let me know. Like I said, I hate for it to be a short stream, but today just time just got sucked up by so many different things. I may stream some this weekend. I'm not really sure if it doesn't, like, if it stays this hot outside. I was planning on going kayaking with my son and friends this weekend, but I'm not sure if it's this hot. It's like too ridiculously hot outside. Um, but yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody that keeps coming back and joining in. I'm going to try to. I'm pretty much going to be doing this from now on all the time. There's some things that I work on and some projects that I do work on that I won't be streaming just because of who I'm working on them for and things that I'm doing. Um, and that's more out of their projects for other prop builders or other businesses and stuff, and that's their stuff for them to release and do their thing. But moreover, pretty much every week I'm going to be I'm just from now on. I'm sitting here for hours at a time working on models, and I get you guys all the time asking me all different questions and stuff, and I I enjoy what I do, but I enjoy it better whenever I can sit down with you guys and spend some time just going over things, and that way when I'm talking out loud trying to rationalize things, I'm not a crazy person because I'm not talking to just myself. And that's another thing. I need to eat lunch. I haven't eaten today, so I've got to figure out my food situation and all that good stuff. But man, I hope all of y'all have a really good day, and I hope y'all have a great weekend. If I don't see you this weekend, and then I'll catch up with you all either this weekend or Monday. So everybody have a good one, and thanks for stopping by.